Okay, y'all, I'm John McCarthy with Spyglass Realty. We're bringing up our panelists. I'll come on this side. Yeah. All right. Wow, this is great. Great group. So we are going to cover objections that we're going to be facing in 2024. Let me introduce our panelists to you. We have Todd Bergener from Douglas Elliman. We have Albert Allen from Realty Austin, and Christy Leonard, the broker of the Leaders Realty. So today, we're going to have a little bit of a conversation first about some of the top objections. So we asked the agents in Spyglass, and we asked our panelists here to share some of the top objections that you feel you're going to be facing in 2024. And we're going to be having a conversation with our panelists today about objections that they feel they're going to be facing in 2024, things that they're saying, things that they're doing, business practices, systems they've implemented in their business that helps them push through some of the biggest objections that we've had. And I know that they're also going to provide maybe some tips on how to overcome some other challenges that we face in 2024. Does that sound good to you guys? Yeah? So, does that sound good to y'all? So first, I want to ask y'all this, and this was a question that came up to me from one of our agents, are the objections that you get from buyers or sellers more challenging to push through? I'll let y'all go. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to say this year it was buyers for obvious reason, interest rates. And obviously education is huge on that. And structuring loans is different these days. Negotiating points is a new thing, obviously. And so I think for me personally, buyers were much tougher this year.
Thanks. Rates, a lot of things going around with rates, right?
For me, I'm probably 80% buyer agent, 20% listing. And I think the objections they had, it was not more, say, like overall blanket. I think it was more that I don't have any investor buyers. So it wasn't an objection they had or anything like that. It's just they weren't there. I personally bought a duplex this year with, like this. Hey, yo. I purchased a duplex this year with a friend out in the audience there. So, like, as far as investments go, like, I'm like, do it. But as far as my buyers go, I'm not really getting objections from them. I think it's more us bringing the objections of interest rates and things like that. Like, they're out to buy, so they're out to buy. So if they're a true buyer or a true seller, yeah, I don't think, like, there should not be an objection.
That's great. I like that. A lot of the objections we encounter, we bring on ourselves, or media, or external forces, right? And we've got to deal with that.
Absolutely. Chris? I'm going to take the opposite side and say sellers because I'm listing heavy. I mean, we all know interest rates are a problem, but I think everything is hyper local. So really getting into the stats and showing them, I focus a lot on luxury. And so I look and I show, look, we've got a lot of inventory in luxury right now. If you want to be the one that sells, you have to beat the pricing of the market in the comps. We can't think that we're at peak pricing anymore. We've got to get realistic. So really the only way to get realistic is to look at the stats and show them the numbers.
Great, thanks y'all. That's really good. And that really kind of helps kind of set the tone for some of these next kind of objections. And Christy, I'd like to ask you first, since you're more listing heavy, and Todd had mentioned interest rates on the buyer's side. What challenges, what objections do you get from sellers about rates maybe, and how that may be challenging on buyers? Do you experience that? Like having to explain like buy downs and points and negotiating, with the seller on almost behalf of the buyer to put them in the perspective of the buyer. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So I haven't really had any pushback from sellers on like doing credits towards buy downs and marketing that. And I think we try a bunch of different strategies. So, we've tried we'll do a 2-1 buy down, or if that doesn't really ultimately I feel like the price is what shows. People aren't really looking at what's in the agent remarks. So while that is helpful, I think that it's also dependent on the price point, whereas someone, under $500,000, it might affect them more to do a 2-1 buy down versus if someone's buying a $4 million home, they might care less about that and about the price because they're paying cash. So it's really about trying all the strategies out there just to see what is sticking to get buyers in the door.
Great, thank you. I want to keep the topic on rates just a little bit longer, as this is definitely something that is going to be challenging for buyers and sellers with getting creative on how to push through scenarios. Todd, so tell me a little bit more about how you're working with a buyer and you've got interest rates as an objection and the uncertainty in the market or uncertainty of what rates are going to do. What would you say to a buyer or a customer that you're talking to right now who's just shown some interest in the market, but they're unsure and they're just kind of curious and they've got all these ideas going on?
I think I would give them, first of all, the roadmap of where we were in the glory days, in the twos. And then I would work them forward to where we are now, or what we just went through. And really, it's all about education. So, we obviously can't project the future, but I feel that, once you can kind of tell them where we were and see how good it was, and that we will probably never be there again. We never say never in real estate, obviously, but none of us probably see that in our lifetime again. So I think that this goes to the whole waiting thing. If they're constantly waiting, they're always going to be waiting. I've been in the business 11 years, and I've got clients from 10 years that are still waiting. They've missed the bus multiple times. We've all have those clients, right? So I think it's all about just telling them the options of what they can do and how they can get through it, and how, breaking it down on paper. I think that's a big one too. A lot of people don't understand what they're getting into. They hear the hype, they hear the doom and gloom. Maybe they see it from the media. The rates are doing this and that. I think really breaking it down, if someone wants to buy a $500,000 house, they don't know what that means per month. They don't know what a 30-year mortgage looks like. I think really putting that into perspective and maybe putting that on paper will really turn a light bulb on. So I think that's for me, that's really going to be the big one, is just really put it in their face and show them what it is. And it might not be as scared. It might not scare them as bad as they thought it would.
Yeah, so you're taking them down a journey of educating them on where we were, and heck, they may have already seen what to expect because they may have been losing out on opportunities. Do you ever get any pushback on, hey, interest rates were 18% back in the day, or they were 2.5%? Like, some people don't find that relevant these days. Do y'all encounter that ever? You're like, you know what? That doesn't really affect me right now because that was then and this is now.
Agree, and prices were lower then. So it's like, yes, we can say that, but the home's not $50,000, $75,000, so it's all relative. And I think really it's just getting down to the wants and needs, and like Todd said, educating them. What do we need to do to make it comfortable for you? How much do we need to buy down the rate? Should we do a temporary buy down? Should we do a permanent buy down? Getting them educated with the lender. So again, it comes back to education.
I think, too, just telling them, don't worry about what happened yesterday. Don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. You want a house today. Let's do it. This is where we are. And again, don't miss the bus like everybody else has been doing the last 10 years of my life. Thank you very much.
Right?
My 16-year-old is late to school every day. We live less than 2 miles, 9 a.m., and his mantra is, it is what it is. The rates are what they are. If the buyer is ready to buy, it's what type of buyer they are. You mentioned luxury buyers, luxury cash or uber luxury or finance, VA buyer, FHA. We doing an ARM, 30-year, 15, 20-year mortgage. So, working with our mortgage partners on that, it's introducing them to good partners and knowing as much as we know about it. But also, if they're pushing back on that, there's something else, So years ago, I was in a different sales job, and it was called need-based buying. And, you ask the why, the why, the why. So you're looking to buy, why? And and they give you an answer, and why, and why, and why, and really see, are they truly a motivated buyer? Why are you throwing these road stops up? I'm going to talk about that property, story-based selling. That transaction that we did in July, crazy market, investment property. There's some story that you have that's going to resonate with someone. So, share that story. It's not our job to convince someone to buy. It's our job to put the right tools in front of them. But as far as the rates go, the rate's the rate. New construction, you can do new construction. They've got the buy downs going right now, but I've not asked any seller that I've worked with to give a buy down or anything like that. I don't encourage my sellers to do a $5,000 collateral or seller concession to fix the carpet or any of that stuff. They're going to make an offer, and we're going to negotiate the offer. So, yeah, the rates are what they are. It's just finding the different tools and resources and finding out, are they truly a buyer? And if they're not truly a buyer, it doesn't matter. They're going to come up with another roadblock.
Great, thank you guys. Chrissy, anything to add? Anything to add?
Well, I was just going to say, going back to timing and how y'all both mentioned like buyers that have been on the fence for maybe 10 years, it's soon going to be to the point where they don't have the negotiating power. I just had one I put on the market last weekend. We had 30 groups through the open house. We had multiple offers. You know, it's like those buyers no longer could be asking for a credit towards closing costs. So if someone, it's not pushing someone to buy now, but if their want and their need is to buy, they need to know that they need to act now, because soon they're not going to be able to get credits towards closing costs and buy downs and things like that.
That's great. And I think, so what's real important in what y'all are saying here in a way is the conversations that you're having and educating the clients, there's always going to be objections. And like Albert was saying, the why and why, like, why are we having this conversation, and really understanding what their goals are, and or even uncovering objections along the way or asking them what those objections might be allows that conversation to happen a lot easier. And then they trust you a lot more. And then whenever you do offer advice, they know that you've heard them and you're offering sound advice for them to listen to based off of what they just told you, because they know that you care, right? And I forgot what Brittany just said a little while ago, but I'm not going to quote what she said because I don't remember it, but they don't care what you care until they show them how much you care, right? So that's great. Thanks, y'all. So what about commissions and objections around commissions that y'all have from buyers or sellers? We're going to have a talk a little bit later with the changes with compensation or the lawsuit. So y'all experiencing compensation challenges or objections?
I'll take this one to start. Nobody wants to discount their commission, right? And there's all the rebuttals out there that we have. Like, if somebody asks you for a discount, are you going to ask them, well, how would you feel if someone took money out of your paycheck? Am I really going to say that to a client? No. As much as we would want to. So I think it's situational. I've given discounts. I think if you have a buy and a sell, there's an opportunity for a discount. I think it depends on the client too. If it's somebody who you've done multiple deals with and they're a super fan of yours, you're probably going to give that person a discount. I love working with my family. I don't know about y'all, but you got to give the family discounts too, right? So there's some love there. But I think also early on in my career, I would just jump to be like, sure, I'll give you a point back. And then I would break it down and I'd see the CD and be like, fuck, I just gave $4,000, $5,000 to $6,000 away. Now I'm more like, absolutely, I'll give you a discount. And it's like $500 to $1,000. To them, they're still like, wow, he gave me some money out of his pocket back. So I think it's very situational. Do we like doing it? No, I wish we could all just not give discounts, but I think it's part of our business. And that's how I personally deal with it.
For me, I think it's just being consistent with it. So I've been in the business for 8 years. I've came back to Austin in 2016. My career really didn't start being good until maybe 2018 or so. So as far as the number of clients that I had, I'm leading to a referral-based business. It's finally now getting there where I have the pipeline of repeat customers. And if you say that whatever your commission is, that's what it is. There are times that they're negotiating, but if you're, I think a lot of you guys are probably referral-based business. If you give a discount to one person and they refer you to so-and-so, that whole conversation, they've talked that whole conversation, 2.5 to whatever your rate was, and then it's going to be the trickle effect. So, once you set that, then that's what it's going to be. So the biggest thing you want to do is be consistent.
Thanks, Albert. So I want to, as far as the compensation and question, one thing, I'm of a belief that there's a lot of faces and realtors and professionals in the area, in the room, that there's no difference in their business is going to happen because of these lawsuits and compensation. They're going to go out there, they're going to do their presentations and provide value, and their clients are going to pay. But the 86% of people are willing to pay more money for a better experience. The same product is better experience, right? So I think that's where this is going. Tying these things together, providing that type of experience is what's going to help us secure the compensations that we require, we deserve, right? And being able to, like, have y'all, I don't know, I know it hasn't seemed like it's been a real big objection so far in practice from our agents, from what I heard, as buyers and sellers beating them up on compensation and asking them for it. So, Christy, have you had?
I wouldn't say I've really had many clients ask about it or have objections, but I will say one thing. When I first heard about the lawsuit, I started putting it in my listing agreements. In special provisions, you understand that commissions are negotiable. You understand that it's negotiable for the buyer's, broker and the listing broker, and you are agreeing to the commissions in this listing agreement. And that was just something, when I first heard about it, that I started making my practice is putting it in my listing agreement, so that it can never come up in the future. But I actually had called someone over at NAR that volunteers to get some more information on this topic. And just knowing the facts is 90% of those plaintiffs would use the same realtor that they used. They were happy with their realtor, and only 2 people on the jury owned a home. There's all these facts about the lawsuit that, and it's still going on. It's going to the appellate court, which could be 2.5 to 3 years. And NAR is very, they think that they're going to be more successful in the appellate court. But bottom line, I think it comes back to, if commissions come up, showing your value. For me, it's like, if you're a buyer's agent, are you a member of TAN? Are you a member of ALN? Are you a member of Clubhouse? How are you finding them off-market properties? What all are you doing? Are you contacting sellers? Are you emailing your database? If you show your value, they won't care about the commission.
Exactly right. And a lot of it even goes back to what Albert was saying as well, as we bring on these objections ourselves, the media does. In our head, we're thinking that we're going to have an issue with these buyers or sellers and hitting us up on compensation, and really it's in our own head. We don't even have that. We're not seeing that issue as much. But it's also, like Christy said, preparing for this, having that conversation. You've all said it, educating your client. You're the one with the source of the information. Yes, you know all about it. I'm prepared for that. And so what? Here's exactly what I do, and why I help so many people is because of all this value that I provide. It doesn't matter what the lawsuits are doing. This is, people are still willing to pay for an exceptional experience, right? So right now, we're feeling the market pick up. Buyers are coming out, seeing that more activity. Are y'all having more people wait? Hey, I'm, thinking about it still. What are you saying to those people? Someone that was, I'm thinking about it still, Todd.
I've been saying this all last year too. Let's go.
Let's go.
Now's the time. We've all heard it. It's all over the.
So you just push them off the fence? Go.
Let's go. Get your
Okay.
money together, man.
Well, I think it also goes back to what Albert said of storytelling. So I make an effort on my social media to storytell. So I show, rather than say, let's act now, I show we had 30 groups through the open house. We had multiple offers. I have all of my contacts on my social media following me. So whether I'm the one saying act now, or they're just seeing, oh crap, like people are out there buying, there's multiple offers again, I better act. I think it goes back to storytelling on your social media.
Yeah, I think too, the last, since January 1, we've seen, like you said, multiple offers. Open houses are more crowded now, and that is a reality check for people. So the last year we've been saying, hey, now's the time. Don't miss the boat. I think now is this next year is really going to be a turning point in the market, and those, looky-loos are now, those are the ones that need to jump on, because if they do wait till 2026, 25, 26, hopefully we're going to be back to a more balanced market, and it's going to be bananas again. And, again, they missed the boat.
Yeah, I think it's picked up since Q4. Matrix has its drip where you do your buyer consult and you find out they're looking for a 5-bedroom, 3,000 square feet, geographic area, price point, the whole nine. And we have collections, and so very similar where you're sharing the properties with them and you curate them or you do suggestions or whatever. So I'm out with my buyers right now, and we have the conversation of the multiple offers and things are going under contract and more pending than active and the whole nine, and they see that, right? So if you're just going by the word of I'm not ready, I'm on the fence, we're going to do it in 6 months or whatever, they're not going to do it in 6 months, and they're looking. I do Zillow, And so I can see that, they're on Zillow, and your website probably gives you an alert, so-and-so's back on the thing. But the conversations we've been having is, hey, multiple offers, and they're like, I know, that one we looked at yesterday went pending, and how much did that other one close for? So they see it. So you have to not sit back.
Go a little bit further with that, because that's what I want to get to a little bit. Like, I've seen so many social media videos from realtors saying, now's the time to buy, now's the time to buy, now's the time to buy. Well, okay, everybody's saying that. Well, I've been hearing that all the time from realtors. So what's the difference now? What are you going to tell somebody? Okay, I saw your video as well as 15,000 others in Austin. Everybody's telling me to buy. Why? The multiple offers, the competition.
Yeah, all the above. It's what you said, and what he said. We're the source of the source, right? So it's show me. So she's showing through social and video, and here's the long line. Oh my God! Remember in 2020 with the 96 offers and waiting and all the bickering and all that. And we have an internal Facebook group, and one of the agents posted the other day for those that have properties on ALN or in coming soon or whatever, and they're like, put it on the market, we're getting multiple offers. There's certain hot markets out there, so it's really just showing them, but you have to put them in the system to show them. But there's no more stories that we have to tell them. They can see that there's this many actives. They see all the trash that's on the MLS. Maybe there's a lot of properties, but 50% of those are they're not ready. Or they're priced too high or whatever. But these new properties that are coming online, folks they're putting their hands up and they're buying.
Right. Yeah. So, and that's what I want to get to is real important, because we're in a tactical sense, we're going to be facing the same. A lot of us are going to be facing the same challenges, and those that are trained and practice and execute are going to be the ones that are going to be doing more transactions. And so I know that's something that we push, of course, training and having conversations around this, uncovering information so that you're the source for whatever it is that they're going to come at you with. You already know about it. You already have a plan about that. And if you don't, well, act as if. Don't freak out. Get some help. Get some support. Contact me if you need help. I'll talk you through it. So we're going to wrap up here in just a couple minutes on the objection part of it. But I wanted to ask you guys, with 2023 in the rear view and the challenges that we've had in 2023, and some of us didn't have as much challenges as others, but what are some challenges in 2024 or best tips that you can offer agents in 2024 to have a successful year in 2024 and beyond?
Perseverance. I think let's just keep the pedal down. That's what we did last year. Keep doing all your systems. I live by doing the ABCs of real estate, which is just follow up, follow up, follow up. Every person you meet, put them in your CRM, put them on a drip, communicate with them, and just continue to keep doing what we've been doing. I think the market will turn, and then the people that are still grinding are going to see the fruit of that, honestly. So for me, that's what I've been telling myself. I'm a lone wolf, so I don't have a team, but I'm pretty self-motivated. So just to keep remembering, even when the shit sucks, and all last year was a bummer, man, and I still went to work, put my shoes on the same way. I did my same systems. I didn't beat myself up. My bank account wasn't as fruitful, but when we get through this, and I have all those people that remembered that I kept in touch, and we're going to get them through this, I'm going to be happy about that. So I would just say, keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you were taught, however you do it. I do it my way, you do it your way, do whatever works, but don't take the foot off the gas, or you're going to be lost in the dust behind people like me, basically, who are not going to stop. So, awesome.
Thanks, Todd.
The calendar years are for company metrics and awards, January through January and September through September, whatever you're going for. But real estate's life. I mean, it's 365, I guess 366 this year, 24/7. It's what we do. And so, it's a continuation. So the thing that I'm trying to focus on after, you've already set your goals and what you're going to do to get the goals is accountability. So find an accountability partner. Talked to John Crow earlier. He just did Ninja recently, and we talked about having Ninja groups. We have small group. So be it that or, coaching or, a partner or a team member or something like that. But somebody's going to call your bullshit. And you can't be sensitive when they call you out because you gave them permission to call you out. So get an accountability partner, be it here or another state or a different brokerage or whatever. I don't think anyone's threatened here by my business, and I'm not threatened by you guys. So I think we're all in this together, and we can all make each other better. So yeah, find an accountability partner.
Thanks, Albert. Great. Christy?
I would say assess your niche. So throughout the years, who my client has been has changed. And so look back at last year and maybe what you're focusing on isn't really what's selling right now. You know, last year a lot of new construction was selling, so you could go out there and you could focus on marketing that and doing tours of new construction, etc. But look to see what is selling so you can focus on that and you can try to get more business this year. Also going back to consistency. So I think rather than trying a whole bunch of things, like you don't need the newest dialer, or don't need to do everything, but focus on something where you can be consistent and show up every single day. Like for me, it's social media. I put more into my reels. And in that, you could batch content create, but it's focusing on something, and just sticking to it and being consistent.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys and lady very much. Y'all, let me have a round of applause for our panelists. Christy, Albert, Todd, thank you very much. Yep. So.